Welcome to Let's Commiserate. I am your host, Sam, and I am so excited because today, at long last, I am joined by none other than my wife. My wife, Samantha.
Hello. How are you doing?
Give her a warm welcome, everyone. This has been a long time in the making. Yeah. How do you feel to be here?
I felt good. I felt good,
So you were like one of the original fans of our podcast, if you recall.
I was falling 3 deep.
Yeah. Because we started it, I think it was August 2023. We were reviewing Ahsoka. She and I were starting to get together around that time. We were becoming friends around that time, I think. And
starting to get together as in hanging.
We were hanging. We were just vibing.
Yes, vibing.
And
just vibes.
Just vibes. And and I remember I think you had mentioned the podcast to me at one point, and I wasn't sure until you commented on one of the episodes about Ahsoka. I remember you left a comment. I forget what it was, but it was like directly on Spotify. Something saying like, well, that was necessary for her character or something like that. I was like, oh, so she's following the show and she's listening to the pod.
Yeah, that's because of you.
Yeah. It's like, wow, do you think she's really into Star Wars? No.
Yeah.
But yeah. And fast forward, now we've been married it's coming on 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
How would you sum up these first 6 months?
I would say that they have been amazing, and I do 6 months all over again a billion times.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, people always ask us how it's going, stuff. And for me, at least, I'm always like, why is it even a question? Yeah, we're doing great. Like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, what other?
Especially, what's the word? I feel like the meme lady with the little with alien sci-fi.
Oh,
sci-fi anyway, especially when it's
it's okay. It's okay.
Continue.
Here's my I think I always misuse the phrase hot take.
Hot take.
But people ask me how we're doing now that we're married and everything, and we've got such a good routine, and we're just in a really good place. People almost seem, well, most people are very supportive, but there's one group of people, like one category of people. Some people seem like disappointed when they hear that you're happy as a newlywed.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're not like struggling?
Yeah. Or you see that they're like surprised.
Yeah.
And it's always like, man, but if you know what I know, then you should automatically be like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And be happy. And be happy because of course it would be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of feel like it doesn't really blow my joy, but it's like almost empathetic to such a limited mindset being displayed in the reaction.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of people struggle when they're first married. And so they're shocked to hear that you aren't struggling the same way that they did, maybe when they're using.
And it's not to say that we didn't struggle. It's really
we're still struggling, guys. Okay, that's why we're here. We need to talk this out.
Yeah, and the insert. But I think that it's the mindset. Like, if you know, then you just gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. And faith in, with it being real to you, then every waking morning to wake up and do it again, especially if you married because you actually love who you're with. Especially if you married because you actually love who you're with. I'm gonna double down. Then you're going to be happy, and you're gonna, the circumstances that come, hey, you get to do it with someone else. So even if the circumstances are not easy or familiar, you still get to do it with someone that you love and closely, and it's just like an adventure, and it's all about your mindset and how strong that you had the faith that it could be.
Yeah.
So,
what would you say has been one of the biggest surprises of marriage? And a pleasant surprise. Hopefully, it's a pleasant surprise. But
so there's someone told me, and I always think towards people when they say things, even if it's not like what, like I'm like what. Anyway, about the thought. But anyway, there was someone that told me that after I get married, I don't think I told you this. After I get married, oh, are you excited? And I was like, yeah. And then they said to me, oh, just wait 2 weeks in and you're going to see. And I just think about that like
2 weeks, you're going to be struggling? Yeah,
I don't know what they meant. So anyway, the point is, the biggest surprise to me is how it's hard in the fact of applying yourself. I can kind of see how somebody will say it's hard. But honestly, if you're like, I was 30, you were 31, and you've been like working on yourself the way you're supposed to work on yourself up until then, and like really applying yourself, coming together with somebody else that has been doing the exact same thing. It's not. And we're only been married for so don't.
We're newbies.
But just 2 weeks in, it was no travesties happening. So I think that was the biggest surprise to me, is that because of the experiences leading up to marriage and maybe the learned mindsets of people around me, I was like, oh, let me brace myself. And I was bracing harder than I had to.
Same here, actually, because I think we all know horror stories of, like marriage horror stories, couples who didn't make it or they really struggled at first. And so I was also like bracing myself leading up to it, and just worrying like, all right, like when is it going to happen? Like when is like our bubble just going to burst and, we're just going to be really, really struggling. And then it just felt so natural. And I was like, I keep waiting for something to like really go horribly wrong and for us to just hate each other all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But then it didn't. I was like, no, this is actually, it's 100% an adjustment.
I think we authentically came together. Like it was like, you're a person and I'm a person, and I see you, and for all of you, and you see me for all of me. And it's like through, I think that was the bigger key. The bigger key is, of course, you want to make sure this person has the same mind as you and all the same goals. And while that's beautiful, we're talking about marriage, not friends, not friendship.
Right.
Because tomorrow, a good friend of yours, you might decide, like how you're describing these marriages, that like you get married and then you're like, oh, I hate this person all of a sudden. Sometimes you're like, you outgrow friend groups. Sometimes you might not necessarily hate them, but you just say,
you outgrow them.
Yeah, you just say, hey, it's not my scene anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with friends. So, and sometimes a lot of times it's because we didn't really see them. We were just like, oh, that looks fun over there. Let me be over there.
Right.
I want to be seen. When it comes to marriage, I think being with someone needs to be greater than they're over there. I want to be over there.
Right. And of course, like there's definitely, in any marriage, there's going to be periods where you just kind of go through a lull or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you just keep.
I think that's the key, because if you genuinely see this person, you're like, I love that person, and you see marriage for what it is, which is a new chapter of your life, and you still are you have the goals and the mindset, the same mind, then I feel like that's the key, but that's not even my original thought. I've stolen that thought.
No, it's okay.
It's not my original thought.
What surprised me, because most of the time it's people like giving you warnings leading up to marriage and like, oh, watch out for this and this and this. Only one couple who I'm friends with, a buddy I used to work with and his wife, I was hanging out with them before we got married. They were the only couple to tell me, Sam, just so you know, being married is awesome. You get to be with your best friend every day. And like we still come home to each other sometimes and say, I can't believe we're married. And it's like, you're seriously, yeah, it's gonna be, an adjustment. It's gonna be hard, but it's awesome. And I was like, they were the only couple to tell me that. And they were right. I was like, why don't we give more positive reinforcement like that to dating couples or engaged couples? Like, just tell them like you're getting married, rather than be like, it's like this and this and this. Just be like, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Again, I think just like anything, it's the motive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the genuine deep down inside. Why are you wanting to take on this next chapter? And then seeing it for all of what it is and the possibilities of all of where it could take you, and still being like, because I see this person, I'm like, or whoever would say to themselves, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I see everything for what it is and all the possibilities where it could take me. But I see this person and I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. The being that you're choosing to marry forever.
Yeah. Oh, I want to tell one story in line with how we got together, because this is primarily a murder mystery channel, podcast, whatever. I mean, it's a lot of Star Wars, but remembering where we come from, mysteries on demand. So when I was first like starting to really take notice of you, I remember another couple, they gave me some advice. They said, like, Sam, you have a lot of very intense hobbies, and you need to be with somebody who not only puts up with it, but finds a way to enjoy it. Like, somebody who would like to go to one of your dress up murder mystery parties, or, would get a kick out of your podcast or things like that. And so I had seen you around, like we had hung out like in similar groups, like we had been in the same, we worked in the same building, and there was that. And then, you and I were talking one day, and we had mentioned like, oh yeah, we should hang out sometime. And you remember what I said?
Listen. Hello?
I said,
are you there?
I said, do you like murder mysteries? And you were like, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was like, no, what are you saying? But
see, I'm glad it means more to me than it does to you.
I think I had I remember that moment, because when he first said it, I was like, wait, so what is that? And he's like, oh, like, who done it?
Yeah.
I hate to make the term of it, but it's just like, who done it?
Who done it? Yeah.
Oh, okay, this happened. Who done it? You use your clues. Clue.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I'm throwing. Yes. I was like, oh, I'm throwing a big murder mystery party coming up, like a 1920s theme, Scandal at the Shoebox. It's on our Etsy shop. And yeah, so I was like, yeah, if you want to come, we have room for a few more. And this girl came and she dressed up. She dressed for the occasion. And she's trying not to remember it. But I know she remembers. And she embraced it. Like she was putting on the Southern accent. She was like, well, I just think it's a shame about what happened to Represent. I wasn't there. You know, I have an alibi or whatever. And she won second place for best actress that night and everything.
There was no such thing as second place. Let me tell you what happened.
She was robbed. Yeah.
This man, everybody voted. So I didn't get voted for. I was still having a good time. And mind you, at this time we weren't really hanging out. We had met and at like a common place of work, and we were just seeing each other around.
Yeah.
And so then he invited me to this party, and this is the first time I actually hung out with him. So in my mind, this is one of my friends in my mind that I'm just getting to be friends with. This man grabbed the mic. I said, everybody voted. I did not win. It was no such thing as second, third place.
Getting trophy down.
And then he gets on the mic and he's like, I just want to say, Samantha, like he says out all the things. He's like, Samantha to me was runner up for
best actors.
Yeah, bleep my name out. But I just want to say, Sam was the best because my name is Sam. His name is Sam.
Yes, we do get the same thing.
Anyway, that was crazy.
Yeah, and and then it turned like we went from the murder mystery game, then it turned into just a dance party, and I was very happy because a close friend of ours, he got a snapshot of the two of us dancing. That was something like this.
Oh, so thank you to you.
So I have that tambourine.
The real MVP.
Peter, I'm just going to use your name, Peter. That was all you.
Yeah.
And now we have it framed in our place. And that's always, it's just a very fond memory. And she's I think every time I've done a murder mystery game since then, she's been part of it in some way, whether it's like testing out a new game that we've written. She always just embraces it. And I love that about her. She just goes all in, even though it might not be her top preference, but she's like, whatever she does, she's going to go like, I'm going to give it 100.
Because the girlies, I like to do my nails. I like to do my hair.
She does get dressed right up for these. Yeah.
I'm talking about her hobbies, but yes, I do.
I thought you meant like for the costume.
I get dressed.
Okay, talk about your hobby. Okay,
I get dressed down, not just up, dressed down. Okay, for the head to the top. Okay, but that's my hobbies. So, like he said,
yeah. If you had it your way, could you see yourself doing like any type of Instagram account like that, like hobbies? Tips.
Do I look like these people? These people don't want to see me. And also, I'm not somebody that wants to hear my voice, see me. Like even doing this right now.
I know. I was like, she is not normally this shy. She is.
Let me tell you something. Because here's the thing.
It is weird hearing your own voice. It is really weird.
And let me straighten this out. Let me. Iron this out for you. I think that people think this is like my most pet peeve to inside of me, in my chest. I don't you will never know it's my pet peeve because it's hard to have a reaction in the moment. But I really hate how people, when somebody has a personality,
mm-hmm.
And I kind of have understood now that I've experienced enough personalities, I have come to understand why people are easily led to believe that when somebody has a personality, it's
like a big personality.
It's for attention, or it's to display something to other people outside of themselves, or it's basically something that they're doing for outside of themselves. I don't like to be put in front of people, but I also don't hate people. That's the difference, because I also have another side belief that like some of these introverts, they ain't really introverted. Y'all just don't like people. But that's tea. But
being like center of attention.
I don't like that. I don't like that. But I'm kind of like a person that's like, if I'm not comfortable, I'm probably not going to be like fooling my personality. You're going to think I'm outgoing, and I probably am outgoing, but I actually am crazy. So, like, because I'm not that comfortable with you. Once I get comfortable with you, now you're wanting me to shut up. Now you're really questioning, like what's going on here. But yeah, I just want to say that shout out to the people that like, you don't necessarily hate people. Like, you know how to talk to people. You like people. And when you really have to, especially when it's like in a certain specific like purpose greater than yourself, you're going to put yourself out there, especially in those occasions. But honestly, if it's not for like anything purposeful, I'd rather not.
Right.
I just want to say that I can never do YouTube. I can never do this, talking to people. I can never do it. This is only for my man. My man. It's only for my man.
And it, like I can vouch for that. Yeah, you do have a big personality that way, but when it comes to actually, if we're like in a room full of people, and if they all turn to you like, Samantha, tell us about this or whatever.
Like, duh.
Those are the moments when you will answer, and then you'll kind of look at me like, yeah. Anyway,
because
I'm like, well, I'll tell it. I'll tell the story.
Not even faking. Like, I probably, if I lift my arm up, it's probably a big old circle under my arm. I'm serious, dripping. I'm serious.
She does really well.
That is, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I truly like to be in the background. I really don't want to be in the front, but in the back, I'm being in the back of the class, but laughing and joking with the one person that's sitting beside me.
Yes.
That is my personality. Even in high school, I was not in the front of class. I was a dude like, I don't want to be up on the stage, group project. I'll be the one to write it out and you go up there. But I'm be in the back, running my mouth.
Yeah. I do have respect for the people who they do this every day. They turn the camera on and they're instantly comfortable in front of the camera, and they've already like got things they want to say, this and that. I'm like, it takes so much mental energy, and even like because I edit all of these myself.
We doing that.
I know, but it's still a struggle. Like I think mostly during the playback process when I'm editing it back through and I'm hearing the sound of my own voice. I hate my speaking voice.
Yeah, you hate it, but you still do it.
I know, but like it's the voice I was given. It's like what am I supposed to do? But like, I'm hearing that when I play it back and I'm editing, I'm like, I hate the sound of my voice. I wish there was a way to change this, and I don't like my facial expressions. I feel like my face looks dead when I'm talking, and like I make it a point to like I have to smile more when I'm talking.
No, it's okay. You can do that. They gonna take what they can get. Okay, so no, you look at me in the eye. They gonna take what they gonna get. You're gonna talk how you normally.
Oh no,
you're gonna talk how you normally talk and how you want to talk. Okay, you're gonna think about other people's feelings, but when you talking, your face look a certain way. Your face look a certain way. Y'all gonna take it because my man. I'm on his podcast and we're talking about Star Wars today.
Oh yes, we are. Let's get to it. So we are covering Andor season 2, arc 2, which is episodes 4 through 6. And so this is 3 episodes that we're covering. We're not taking it like by point by point by point, just kind of overall big plot points. What were your overall feelings about this block of episodes?
I felt like, wow, BBY 4, 3, 2, man, it's getting down there. It's getting down there. And I just feel like, what's it, Ghorman?
Yeah. Good job.
Mommy.
Let's see how many things I can mansplain throughout this. It's like, actually, Ghorman is... I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think they are smart for trying to resist and not being so easily takeoverable. And it's just gonna be interesting as you break it down. You bring up the points. I'm excited to discuss.
Well, this was one thing that I think you even asked about while we were watching Ghorman, just like the culture of the planet. I was just watching like the behind the scenes extras before we started recording this. They based the Ghorman language, Gore, they called it. They did base it on French, and you can hear that. Like, it sounds so...
I did. I was like, man, it seems like they're speaking French, but they're not.
She speaks French.
Yeah, I was like, every time they started speaking, they took the R sound out of that language that they were speaking. That's the reason why it sounds French. They took R, because if you notice, in French, the R sound don't exist. So shout out to y'all that's trying to learn French, because also that's the key to sound French is you talking about some tort is tort. Okay, anyway, that's how they sound French. So, and
apparently, like, everybody from this planet, they got all French actors to play those characters.
They knew because they don't need an American doing the art. I promise you, that's the key to that language they made up, is they took out the "r."
Well, because even listening to them, I mean, it sounds so very French. So in my head, I'm just thinking this is French, and I was like, wow, all these actors, their French is really, really good. And they are. I know they're not speaking French, but like they've got the pronunciation, like
the pronouncing whatever.
Yeah,
they took art. That's the key. I'm trying to tell you, Star Wars people. Clocked.
Yeah.
Clocked.
And they did create that language, Gore, and apparently they made vocabulary lists for all the actors and everything. And one of them, he was being interviewed, I forget his name, but he plays the father. He said that between takes, a lot of times they would like speak Gore with each other. Like in the secret language that they made up. I thought that was cute.
But did they understand each other?
Yeah, because they had they all had the vocabulary list.
Break it down. So when they make up languages on Star Wars, it really is like 4 specific words.
They do. Yeah, they were saying they made vocabulary lists. They made vocabulary lists for all the actors. Like, this is the Gore language, memorize this. And so between takes, they would like be practicing and like be speaking it with each other, literally like learning a whole other language
that was made up.
Yeah. Now I'm sure they don't get crazy in depth with it, like, you know, a ton of grammatical rules, but maybe I'm wrong. But I remember this was like a very specific memory that came up when I was watching this. You remember the movie Atlantis, The Lost Empire, the Disney movie? Came out like probably when you and I were like 11, I think.
Oh.
She's looking at my shirt. I can tell she's thinking like,
cause he don't love. He hate that iron, boy.
I don't.
Really do hate an iron. Iron. He hate to see an iron coming.
Listen.
He hate to see an iron coming, but it's still my man.
So Disney Channel, they used to do these like behind the scenes features about all the movies ever coming up. I want to say like Disney Channel Surfs Up or something like that. Movie surfers, something along those lines. And they did one about the movie Atlantis, and they were doing like a breakdown of like, oh yeah, there is a language that's spoken in this movie, and they went through the whole process of how they actually created this fake language. I was like, isn't it weird? Like, there's a whole department of people for a movie or TV show where this is your job, invent a language. Like, and that's
like,
yeah.
Somebody's job. If you really think about it, it's some people's job just to do FX. Like when you look at these movies that have like non-human species and stuff like that in shows. What a life.
It's crazy. What a life. Okay, I want to get this one development out of the way because I can't stand Saw Gerrera. Forrest Whitaker, he was like the crazy guy.
He was like, make the, he told a little young boy to make that little thing because he said, we come and we conquer.
Yeah, we have.
Don't leave till we get what I want.
we have this whole side plot with Wilman, however you say it. I don't care about that character. I'm sorry. I truly don't. Like, we saw him for 5 minutes the last season, and I just don't care. But it was scary seeing Saw's tactics, how he was first saying, oh yeah, I'm going to get rid of this kid when I no longer need him. Then he goes and gets rid of that other guy because he thinks that he's betraying them. I wasn't really clear on that. But I was reading somewhere that it's meant to show that, yeah, Saw is he is a rebel. But whereas most of the Rebel Alliance, they're trying to lead with compassion, he leads like a pirate. Like, he runs the whole crew like it's a pirate ship, where it's just everything to the extreme and, one strike and you're out. And so then I think he ends up like convincing Wilman, like, just taking these fumes, man, like, go crazy with me. And Wilman is like, okay, good. That's when he starts breathing in the Rhydonium, which really messes up your system.
Yeah, and burns you, obviously, from the inside out, depending on how hard you breathe it in.
It's pretty intense.
This man breathed it in in front after saying that, which was wild.
Not for the faint of heart. Let's talk about Cassian and Bix, their relationship. They're hiding out on Coruscant, and Bix is still heavily traumatized from her being tortured by Dr. Gorst. She's taking a substance to help her sleep better. I felt so bad for her throughout this whole...
because she basically had PTSD.
Yeah.
And from a doctor that was testing whatever he was testing on her.
Yeah.
And so, but it was basically super traumatic, very mean-spirited. And so...
I did like her and Cassian's relationship. Like, they were showing that develop a little more, like just giving them time to breathe. They do this like weird dance
with their
hand where they're just like... It's like... Oh, Bix gets her retribution, though, in the end. That, like, we just finished watching that, where she tracks down that doctor and she puts the scary noises on him. And he doesn't even remember her, probably because he's done it to so many people. And then they blow up the building. But I was actually like, you know what? That's the only way she could move on from this. I thought that she was like really just going to continue going in a downward spiral and just not make it through this batch of episodes. But she actually like kind of fought back. I was happy to see it. We do get another major character death. Cinta, she was the one who was accidentally shot in the end, because the whole thing is these kids trying to run this heist do not follow orders. What did you think of that?
I felt like, man, that dude, he really is gonna have to live with it. He really is gonna have to live with it. It was kind of harsh that she said that. She should have thought before she spoke, because you can't speak out of emotion. Even if the cause or the, is like substantial. Yeah. We all been caught up, but yeah, she basically like eternally sanctioned him to misery.
Yeah, she was like, don't you dare cry.
She's like, no, it's going to be with you forever.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's going to be with you. This is your skin. It's going to be on you. It's on your head. Everything that you do, every time you think, every time you sleep, it's going to be in your dreams. Boom, she there. You can never run. She's always going to be in the back of your mind. And I hope it stays there. To the eternity of time and time eternity. I hope you never forget how you was stupid. I think you are stupid. You need to know.
I was just letting you go. I really hope people stick through this whole podcast episode, because when we started recording, I was like, oh, shy Samantha's in the house. Like, and then, yeah. And then I knew it wouldn't take long. I was in my head anticipating.
When that part started, I said, she doing? She read that man for film. But you know what? She gonna feel bad about that later. It's probably gonna be an episode where she like she does something that's like, oh, like you're all right. Like it's probably gonna be, and it's a surprise, but I have guessed it. So I put it out into the air and I know it's finna drop.
I don't know if we're gonna see that kid again. I'm not sure because each of these batches of 3 episodes, they jumped ahead 1 year. So like this season started with like 1 year later. Then this batch of episodes started another year later. So we're gonna go another year later. I don't know if that group of kids are still gonna be around.
Like I said, the point is, that girl, she if words could start a fire, and we know it can, she was lighting him up.
Listen, she ate and left no crumbs.
Okay. Period.
We said period at the same time. Should we do it for yes. In the club with my twin, we be vibing. Classy chick, but you know I'll be outside with it.
Yeah. But that's a ratchet song, so you might not want to include that.
If I haven't offended people, like I've done so much more cancelable things on this podcast. They won't be offended by that, but if I say something like Dave Filoni is not my favorite director in the world, then it's like, oh, you are the worst. You need to get a life. Then it's You need to leave. That's that. But yeah, so Cinta, we lose Cinta. And I remember, what was it? There was one major, this is why I write things down. Cinta dies. We lose Cinta. Oh yes. Okay. So like the side plot going on is, Luthen and Clea, who I think I actually like Clea now. The girl who they realized that one of the pieces of art they sold to Golden, I'm getting his name wrong. They find out he's getting his whole collection reappraised because one of the pieces was a fraud. And they're like, oh, we've planted a bug on that piece to listen to what he's up to. And now he's going to find it. And so they have to like infiltrate this party, get the device off. It is stressful. Like she is like blackmailing the other guy. She's like, nope, stand in front of me. And she's turning it so hard. Like it's stuck. Her hand starts bleeding. For me personally, that whole sequence just went on far too long.
It really did.
I counted. They did 5, it might have been 6 close-ups of
her hand bleeding.
Okay. Or her hand stuck.
I was like, wow, okay, she's strong.
Yeah. I think
she's the strong will. She's very binded to this mission that she's committed.
We get it. It's stuck. And I think this whole...
I said, okay, continue, because you think this whole...
I think this whole climax, like the 3rd episode climax, Andor usually does these climaxes pretty well. How they end each story arc, like at the 3rd episode, and it's all building up to something really big, intense. I think this was the weakest one for me, because the heist itself, it's fairly small scale, or at least it plays small scale in the long run. Like I wasn't feeling like the edge of my seat nervousness that I typically feel. I think the only big development is that it leads to Cinta's demise. And even then, I kind of saw that coming. Her and Vel reunite, and it's established like, okay, they're going to be okay now. In that moment, I was like, no, that was like swan song. After like a long time apart, in a lot of TV shows, you see that. Yeah. Usually that's like the last happy thing. But yeah, so it wasn't the most thrilling climax.
No, but it was kind of thrilling for me, because I was just like, man, are they about to get caught? And how are they about to get caught? Are they about to get exposed? Are they about to foil their plot? And I was kind of mad. Because what's the man that was on the building recording them and reporting back?
Oh, Cyril.
I was like, man, Cyril, You ain't worth 2 cents to your mama, and you ain't worth 2 cents to me. Because
yeah, Cyril was he was playing them the whole time like he wasn't where Aaron comes in.
I'm also mad at them because why y'all tried to recruit somebody like that? Let me tell you something about people that are stuck in people-pleasing mode.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
And this goes on for many different things, but I'm just specifically talking about Cyril in relation to his mama. And then, how, unfortunately, whether he realizes it or not, it's like, he's kind of given up on pleasing her and he's found something else to be people-pleasing about other than his mom because he ain't going to get... But, like, when somebody's been raised kind of on that, so it's inculcated into them,
good.
They are not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Not just saying good word.
We almost do good word of the video. Inculcate. That's a good word.
But when it's been inculcated, I hope you put like above me like the definition. like it's inculcated. But when it's been inculcated in them, what was I about to say? You can talk.
Cyril.
When it's like people pleasing, when it's been inculcated in somebody, like they are the most untrustworthy people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why the rebels like even thought like y'all are listening to his phone conversations. Y'all seen how his mama was. Like that's and like the conversation that they were having and how he was replying to her and stuff like that.
He was being very careful with his replies.
I don't know
because I don't think he knew
because he's like I'm over people here now.
Right.
The point is like he's like I want to look like something. It's like even though he don't even really like it himself. Like that was the point of my gist is like. You're like he's somebody that's like always gonna put somebody against himself. So you're talking to him to get him in to what y'all mindset and get him over to thinking. But he even for his own self don't think for himself. He lets other think for him. So when you're talking to him, it's like a void. That's the most untrustworthy type of person to try to bring into your bosom as like a person or when we're talking application to Star Wars, this episode of trying to bring him into a cause, he does not. You cannot trust him. I was just so disappointed because I saw that coming. I was like, why are they? I was like, why are they snitching on themselves? As soon as what's the person who walked up to him, selling him the spider?
Yes.
I said, no, please. No, please.
There was only one moment. Well, there was only one moment where I thought that he might have started to rethink things. It was like when he joined that secret meeting and they were having this long talk. I thought, and I guess this is kind of a TV trope at this point where double agent actually starts to believe in the cause that he's spying on. And I thought they might go down the route of, oh no, Cyril actually might start to defect to the rebels. But they didn't. He was like, no, I'm still loyal.
Because there was a reason why I think Filoni.
Gilroy is the director.
Gilroy. There's a reason why Gilroy allowed us to see like his domestic life in the scales of his household, his family, and also like that. There's a reason why it's like, why would you waste that writing time and that screen time? And there's a reason why. So this is the background of this person. That's why they can't become the double agent that has a mind of his own. You have to have a mind of your own for somebody to
be able to turn
maybe be able to turn you to some sense.
Now, his relationship with Dedra, the blonde girl. What do you think of their relationship? Is it actually love? Is she actually into him or is she just using him?
I think that girl actually cared for him.
Yeah.
Because again, the director wanted to show she bust the mama out. So she would never see him. You never see him if you keep doing this. Somebody that really doesn't care, why would I bother myself? Your mama been your mama for all your life. Ever since you caught wind. Ever since you your mama been your mama. Your mama been here. You're how old? I can't do nothing about it. If I feel like, oh, it's like that's a struggle that like, I don't really care too much about you, so why would I even insert myself? This woman is 10 toes deep with this man. So therefore, that's my thing. But I feel like
bring the good point of view, yeah.
But I feel like she is also 10 toes deep for whatever she got going on against the rebels. And if at any point in time, it's just like when you love one thing more than another thing, but you really love that thing. But this other thing that you love is higher than anything else. But you love, in her mind, her highest thing though is her hatred for rebels. Man, so at the end of the day though, I wouldn't be surprised if they fast forward and she end up he's unalive because from her hand, because
the cause will always come first.
The cause gonna come first for her.
Yeah.
So then it's not gonna mean that she didn't genuinely love him, because I do believe that she really does love him.
I think neither of them are neither of them know how to have a healthy relationship, because that's not how they were raised.
Both of them are loveless. That's the key. Yeah. Both of them are loveless, and one is being fueled by hate, and the other one just being fueled by his mama. Yeah. Basically. In one way or the other.
Let's do before we wrap up, let's do one prediction, because in each of these arcs so far, in the first arc, we lost Brazo. We lost one major character. The next arc, we lost Cinta. Now, both of them were fairly minor. I hate to say disposable characters, but do you think in this next arc of episodes we're going to lose another character? And if so, who? See, we got to think about these things, folks. We don't want to be caught off guard.
It can't be Andor.
It can't be Andor. No. I hate to say it, but I'm afraid for my girl Bix. I feel like
nice girl.
Yeah, I feel like now that
I didn't want to say that. My mind was thinking close to their family. You feel that?
Well, I feel like now that her major arc has basically been resolved, she's gotten her closure that way. There might not be much left for her character to do. Mm-hmm. And so it wouldn't surprise me if who's Bix next.
Yeah.
I hope not, but we'll see. Yeah. Anywho, folks,
make sure before we go that y'all buy all the merch in the Etsy shop that's linked at the top. Period. And you just have fun. Make sure you buy it. And also, I want you to know that it's digital, so you're going to have to print them. And you want that. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to print it, babe. Yeah. You want to be able to print it, babe.
And tell them to be nice to me in the comments.
And let me tell you something, and I'm gonna make it real clear, and I'm gonna be real clear on here, because I'm not here to play, and I did not come to play. Don't be talking about me and my man any type of way. I ain't gonna do nothing about it, but I'm gonna do something about it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna do nothing about it because I'm not a fighter.
I do love I get a lot of comments on TikTok especially, and a lot of them are just complainers for the sake of complaining. But I always reply to people who, even though they're disagreeing with me, they're doing it in a respectful way. Like, they're doing it in a way that's saying, like, hey, I don't agree with that, but like, let's have a discussion about it. Like, I try to just engage with those people. But then you just have the people who say, you suck. And that's, you move on.
896-232-5555. That's a random number, but
yeah, don't call that number.
It's not me. Yeah, but listen, leave this man alone.
Anyway, thank you so much, my love, for joining us.
This was fun.
Yeah. Would you come back now that you've gotten like the jitters out and like
didn't do it? So therefore, this should go down in the books. But I'm okay with just vibing.
She'll be back sometime. I'm saying when Dave comes back, we'll do a
Shout out to Dave.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. He just got married.
He just got back from his honeymoon.
I want to say this. Let me just say this. I can never replace Dave. So I just want to say that I'm not sitting in somebody's suit. But none of us guests are. Mm-hmm. But
I've got another guest lined up for next week, and I think people will really enjoy it. I won't give it away who it is. Yeah, I won't say anything. But I'm confident that we'll have you back on the pod at some point. Not next week, but anytime you just want to come hang out, just come. This is officially the couch of commiseration, I think, because this is where we can just come and vibe. This is actually your couch.
This is my couch.
So it's thanks to you.
It was actually gifted to me from my big brother, big sister. They live in Greece now. They gave it to me when they moved. So actually, shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah. We never met up with them when we were in Greece, did we?
Yeah, we vacationed 2 months in Greece.
But anyway, that's all for today, folks. We will check back in next week as we talk about the continuing saga of Andor. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.